Hi, my name is Alan Nevis, and for my IWA for AP seminar, I chose my topic to be power relations between government and rebels in science fiction. Now, for a little bit of background on the topic, we turn to the Star Wars movies. The Star Wars movies successfully show the power relationship between a rebel cause and a tyrannical government. The entire plot of the movie revolves around a struggle between the Sith Empire to control and subjugate people and the rebel cause, which seek to free and help the people that are under this rule. These movies are able to show the fight for political power and the social change that is achieved in the broader sense. So my question was, would the concentration of power in a government body cause corruption and an abuse of power? Now, we're seeing an abuse of power with the Sith Empire. The Sith Empire is shown to abuse its power when creating the Death Star, when threatening its citizens, and when also threatening the Rebel Alliance with destruction. Real-world examples also act as analogies to the Star Wars universe. We are able to see that in communist Russia, communist China, Cuba, many dictatorships over the years. And a further elaboration on the question involves the cause of power going towards rebel alliances. Since power is required to make change, would this same power concentrated in a rebel alliance allow them to achieve their goal? So we need to start off with, what is power? Power is essentially the ability to control. Power allows you to achieve goals and to manipulate others. Power is universal. Power is a very vague concept. It can be separated into certain groups. For example, you can have military power for threatening for a cause. You can have political power, which can be achieved through debate, through politics. Another trait about power is that it is fluid. It can be transferred from entity to entity, from person to person, from thing to thing. It does not stay still. It can be granted to one, or it can be fought for. It can be achieved. And its abilities can either be devastating to a cause, or it can be beneficial for a people. Now, the answer to the question, if power was concentrated in centralized government, it would lead to an abuse of power or corruption within. This has been seen in not only in the Star Wars universe, which is an obvious example, but also in many large centralized governments over the years. That same power also will allow rebellions to come to fruition and achieve their cause. Governments will abuse their power. Governments will grow corrupt. This has been shown time and time again over the course of history. In Star Wars, we are able to see this with the Sith Empire. The Sith Empire has achieved an insanely good economic status and insanely good social status amongst the citizens of multiple galaxies. Because of this, they're able to gain the ability to control, the ability to manipulate others, and the ability to shut down those that disagree with them. This can also be seen in real life. In the article titled Power and Legitimacy, Challenges from Russia, it discusses the power struggle in Russia. Russia is very well known for having a close to dictatorship, but not too close. It is shown that Russia has been able to control media outlets, to control its people, and to control various different opinions from different political parties. We see the same thing between both of the mediums. We see a power that controls. We see a government that is able to harness that power and to use that power against its people. Power can be either beneficial or detrimental. It depends on who is holding it. This is usually outlined in the morals of said government or said entity or said power. You would eventually find an evil government such as the Sith, which would use the Death Star to blow up Alderaan. That is an example of a bad use of power. It is detrimental to society. For beneficial power, we can turn to the Rebel Alliance, who then free everyone under its rule and promise no harm to come to anyone else. Real-world examples can include, say communist China. Communist China killed many people in its reign in trying to control everyone. other government, but there are multiple governments that are good, including our own U.S. government, which has not forcefully killed anyone and seeks the betterment and the protection of its citizens. Social changes by rebel groups. Rebel groups often make social change. This is no secret. That is often their cause, to make social change. We can see this in countries like South Sudan. However, a much better example in the real world is to use the American and French revolutions, which were small rebel groups rising up against huge tyrannical powers with almost no odds of winning and having the power to beat them. The power given to them was what gave them the ability to win, not only just political power, but social and military power as well. We can see the same thing in Star Wars, because the plot of Star Wars always ends with the Rebel Alliance gaining victory over the Empire. The Rebel Alliance is able to free everyone from the control of the Empire, and this goes to prove that power concentrated into a rebel group, just in the same way that is concentrated in a large government body such as the Empire, will have a positive effect rather than a negative effect. Now, as for a counterclaim, obviously not all governments are tyrannical. This is seen in multiple countries, ranging from the US to France to Australia. Not every country will grow to be tyrannical. By the same token, not all rebel groups are destined to succeed. Even in the Star Wars movies, we see the Rebel Alliance fail multiple times and are then tracked down by the Empire. So when talking about rebel alliances, rebel groups, and huge government bodies abusing power, it's not a definite that they will grow corrupt, but it is very likely. And those are my sources.
How valid and reliable are the sources you used? How do you know? What sources didn't work?
Many of the sources that I used would stem from the Star Wars movies, and I would know because I have watched them. Apart from that, there were about 2 scholarly articles that I found and I have tested for bias, for misinformation, which turned out okay, and as well as one provided in the AP seminar packet, which has always been very, very beneficial and very solid.
What information did you need before you began your research, and how did that information shape your research?
The information that I would have required would have been knowledge on the Star Wars films and their relationship of power that is showcased in there, as well as multiple real-life scenarios of power either corrupting a government body or power inspiring rebel causes to victory, both of which I was prepared with. Okay.
Good.